Hey, good morning. Welcome to Mike's Diabetes World. Yeah, I got that one little piece of hair that wants to stick up this morning. It's not going to do anything. All right, let's take a look at blood sugar. It's at 9.2. I'll let you in on a little secret. I forgot to bolus for breakfast. But we'll see how it goes. I'm at 9.2%. So, still within reason, but I have utilized the correction a few times. It would have been interesting to see on my old pumps where I would have been. Time in range is 88%. I had 2% above my target and 10% below. That was a bad day. But today at 1, I have a telephone conversation with my diabetic nurse. And we're going to go over and see what's going on. Is it my stomach digesting? Who knows? Not taking extra insulin. Today, I want to discuss what has been the impacts of T1D. And for those of you who don't know, T1D is short for type 1 diabetes. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Press the like symbol if you enjoyed any part of this video. Thank you. In my life, what has been the impacts of T1D? The early years, I would have said losing the weight. I started to kind of write down my memories of my 47 years. I think it's 46 years, 47 now, with T1D. And we'll have to repost them because I've had to change my Facebook posts. But it tells you what it was like going through the life as a T1D back in 1977. And for me, the biggest impact was a positive. I lost weight. I didn't care if it was negative for me or could have caused issues. It was the best thing I ever had. Of course, it was with the onset of T1D. You lose an awful lot of weight. I lost so much weight. Now, I wish I could have kept it going, But it's like, come on. That was the first impact. And I was happy with that. I was amazed on how well things were going. You know, I kind of went, it's a storm outside, sir. I kind of was relaxed in noting that my body was, losing the weight. This diabetes stuff is easy. Don't get so cocky, mate. Let's try something. There. That's a little bit better for you guys. The second impact was having to take shots all the time. It was fine when it was like one shot a day. And, that worked fine. Getting my blood sugar one shot, controlled with one shot a day was fine. And then it snapped to 2. And now it's got to the point where 3 or 4 shots could give you the best control. And if you're doing it that often, you could have more occurrences to the sort of things I'd have to deal with, or what I dealt with this morning, and that is forgetting to give your insulin. And typing in your carbs, but taking your medication. And it's, with the pump, it's masked a bit because you're still getting your insulin. But before, when I would forget to give my insulin, my blood sugar would go through the roof and you'd feel like crap. Oh, I just want to go to sleep. And then you give your shot, and then your blood sugars would come down, and it would be awesome. But you still had to go through. And I can remember going to classes and feeling like crap. And I wasn't sick. I didn't have the fever. So I knew, but I couldn't, at the school I went to, I couldn't just say, hey, can I go back to the dorm and take a shot? I'm sure I could have. But for me, another impact has been that I love to eat. I'm sure you can tell. A little punchy here. And early in my life, I would get diabetic life. You couldn't have anything else. If you wanted something extra, that was tough. If you were out doing stuff that you could have extra food. And I can remember when I went to diabetic camp, I asked this of a doctor. We went away on like 2 overnight events. And one we did a canoe trip, and then we had to walk. Seemed like miles. But we did it, and I was hungry. And I said that, and he said, well, you're just gonna have to wait till your next meal. there was no give or take. Now that's kind of being alleviated with the pump. But for those who are still on injections, that can be open. But carb counting also has helped. Counting your carbs and giving your insulin to the amount of carbs given is revolutionary. That's probably one of the biggest steps of helping controlling your diabetes. And people are going to say, no, no, no. That's no, no, no. Well, you can utilize this information. And with the pump does all the work. You just have to type in your carbs and you're set to go. And even if the carbs are high one day and low the next, that's great. Another impact, back in my day, it was urine testing. And urine testing was a pain, especially at school. I mean, nowadays, you've got your little glucometers, you do a test, and you're ready to go. But before then, you'd have to go to the bathroom, wait until you could go again, and then you could test that urine. And okay, the next impact, dealing with all the highs and the lows. That's something I've had to continually deal with for all my life. The doctors have gone over things with me a number of times, and you're still going to have highs. You're still going to have lows. But you can't give up. You've got to treat them and move on. Maybe we should say you've got to diagnose the situation, do a blood test. Another impact, doing another blood test. You've got to treat it. Fast-acting sugar, wait 15 minutes, test again. See how your correction values have worked. And then last is dissect. And dissect why you went high, why you went low. Sometimes the answers may not be staring you at the face. But if it happens more often, you too can learn how to read. And with that, learn how to read, if you're on a CGM, the reports that come with your CGM. Learn how to see, okay, that was because of this happening. I know why it was high. I know why it went low. Then try to incorporate that into your plan so it doesn't happen again. I've been finding, now that I'm getting older, that when I go into a DKA, that they're more intense and it's just garbage. So you have to learn how to stipulate and grow and take your information, come up with a plan, discuss it with your doctors. Now, all these impacts I've listed aren't by any means the only impacts. But what it does show you, I should have brought that down, is that you can move it along, and despite any of the impacts, life can go on and you can do it. You're not going to be able to just get up, race out of the house without taking insulin, without eating correctly, without testing to know where you are. It's a lot more to handle. And the only people that can really understand that is the medical professionals, another T1D, or a parent. People out there in the real world are not going to be able to understand this. And with that, we'll call it a day. Have a super day. Have a controlled day. And we'll talk to you later. Bye now. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Thank you. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.